Today's video deals with DIYing PVC joints to convert them into another type of joint. The primary tool for this is a reamer, which I built in a previous video and for which you can find a link to in the end screen of this video. To see what I'm talking about, stay tuned. What I'm doing today is creating one type of joint using another one. Keep in mind, these joints I've created are furniture joints and can't be used for plumbing. These are probably not joints anyone will use on a regular basis, but they can be useful in a pinch or in mass to save a reasonable amount on cost. So with that said, let's get started. The first custom joint I'll do is a 4-way using this T-joint. I'm going to use this pipe for leverage to hold on to the joint. I'll bore through it using this reamer I made in a previous video, for which there will be a link to at the end of this video. Now all you need to do is keep boring through the T with the reamer until it goes all the way through to the other side. Depending on the reamer used, the amount of time to bore through could vary. When you're done, this is the result. The bored through T will allow a pipe to pass all the way through, simulating the look of a 4-way once the last two pipes are connected. You could also bore all the way through a 4-way just to get the ease of construction, but the price of a 4-way is double. If you don't actually need the look of a 4-way, using a T gets you the same pipe layout. Customizing this DIY joint requires a little more work. The focus here is the 45-degree elbow, but it needs help from a coupler. First, attach a coupler to one end of the elbow using as short a PVC pipe as possible. Because after boring, much of the elbow will be taken away, screw together the inserted pipe to the elbow on the inside apex using one screw. The screw will be in the way, so it'll have to be backed out just enough to allow the reamer to bore past it. Reaming this joint might be dangerous to drill by hand, so I'll clamp it down to secure it. Now, use the reamer to bore all the way through the short end of the elbow. Here's the completed 45-degree T. After boring, filing down the bored hole will help if the joint is too tight around the PVC pipe. This joint can serve as either a 45-degree T or a 135-degree T. Another use could be a 135-degree elbow. This last joint I'm going to customize, a 4-way, is probably the toughest one to do by hand. A drill press would be great, but I don't have one of those. Cut a block of wood to line up with the edges of the 4-way joint. Draw corner-to-corner lines to find the center of the wood block. Drill a 1/4-inch hole at the center point. This is a pilot hole for the hole saw. Cut a hole in the wood block to fit the coupler. The hole saw I'm using to do this is 1 3/8 inch. I'm finishing up this jig by screwing in some guides at the ends of the wood block to keep the 4-way centered. The hole I just cut is slightly larger than the diameter of the coupler, so I'm using masking tape as a shim so the coupler will fit more snugly. I also have to ream the coupler so it can serve as a guide to the reamer when I bore the hole through the 4-way. Now that that's all done, I can bore out the 4-way. If you remember, as I built the jig, I first cut out the wood block and ended with the hole saw. Because I don't have a drill press, and as you'll see shortly, I should have started with the hole saw and ended with cutting out the wood block evenly around the hole. By doing it the way I did, it's hard to get the hole drilled accurately in the center of an already cut wood block. Even with center punching, there's still a chance of being 1/64 of an inch off, which is still enough to make a 4-foot perpendicular pipe be inches off between the two ends. For my own curiosity, I did try to reconfirm redoing the 4-way to see if cutting the wood block around the already drilled hole would be more accurate, and it was. If you do plan to do this though, I'd recommend a table saw, cutting the block of wood 1/16 inch larger on each side, then nibbling away at each side until all sides are an equal distance from the hole and the 4-way just fits within those sides. One thing to be aware of is PVC joints from different manufacturers will differ in size. A joint from one store may fit your jig, but a joint from another store might be too big. In this situation, you can either make multiple jigs or make the jig adjustable in some way. As you can see, the PVC pipe slides in one side, although tightly, and aligns perfectly with the other side as it slides through. I hope you've gained some useful knowledge out of today's video. Leave your questions and comments in the comment section below. That's all I have for now, and I'll catch you in the next video.